Hello and welcome to a small slice of speculation. Today I want to talk about the use of realistic destructible bodies in video games. Think about any living entity you've ever seen in a video game. It could be the avatar that you control, such as Master Chief or Shepard from Mass Effect. It could be someone else's in-game avatar, for instance any of the people you might shoot in an online deathmatch in Call of Duty. It could even be an AI-controlled bandit from Borderlands. These days, all of these virtual people and creatures both look and sound really good. Developers are squeezing in more and more polygons into the character models. The facial expressions are starting to look really lifelike, and sometimes we get a nice squirt of realistic gore when we shoot them. But there is one thing that's still largely unrealistic, and that's the level of destructibility that you see when you interact violently with a character model. Now, I know it's not technically feasible in the current generation to create a realistic model of the human body with all its internal bits and pieces that react exactly as it would in the real world. I also understand that damage systems in multiplayer games are simplistic for the purposes of keeping the game balanced and fun. So what I'm doing here is kind of presenting a what-if scenario, speculation about the future of gaming. Right now, bodies in games are often represented by invisible hitboxes that roughly match the actual shape of a character. Shooting some hitboxes will take away more points from the character's damage value than others. It's usually popular to make the box around the head a high damage area. In real life, people don't have a magical number representing their health, nor are they shaped like a stack of cardboard boxes. To demonstrate how simplistic games are, in video games the condition for a character to die is the health value reaching 0. In real life there are many conditions for death, like the heart stopping. Looking at most modern games, there's usually a limited number of death animations, but using a realistic model of the human body, a character should die in a way appropriate to the way it's been attacked. It could be a simple loss of consciousness followed by an undignified swooning action. Alternatively, it could be a long, drawn-out whatever's realistic. I'd be happy, you know. I mean, if I shoot some dude in the chest, I want to see that I've severed his arteries, broken his ribs, maybe even blown a hole in his heart, you know. And also I want to see a bullet hole exactly where I hit the guy, and I want to see the blood start spreading across his shirt. Not because I'm some sort of sadistic sicko, but because I'm just tired of seeing enemies rebound from bullets with either no visible damage or damage nowhere near where I hit him. One important interaction that I like to see more in games is the ability to hamper mobility by shooting legs. Some games like Fallout and Deus Ex have tried doing this before, but at the end of the day, each leg is just a hitbox with a given value. If I shoot a guy in the calf, I want to see him scream in pain and start limping. If I get him in the foot while he's in mid-stride, I want to see him fall over and perhaps get up on one leg afterwards. I mean, there is a kind of limping animation in Fallout, but it's no different to the effect of having just shat yourself. This all comes down to the question of whether you should be able to have your legs blown off if you're the one controlling the character. The idea of spontaneously regenerating legs is probably a bit silly, which means that players who survive having their mobility appendages shut off are going to be left crawling around people's feet for the rest of the game. Not exactly a recipe for fun. The same goes for if your arms are forcibly removed. You then have no choice but to run around trying to groin people. So no, I don't think totally destructible bodies should appear in multiplayer games. Blowing off limbs would become a cheap tactic that would kill the pace of a casual shooter game totally. Nevertheless, it'd be nice to see a move away from the hitbox damage systems. I reckon that completely destructible enemies would be great to see in single player campaigns. Perhaps in RPGs, instead of ramping up the health of higher level enemies, make their armour tougher or their movements quicker to make it harder to penetrate through to their internal organs, which is what you'd be able to do if we had destructible bodies. I think it'd be some years before we see accurate models of the human body in video games. The best simulations we have now can be seen in the Dead Space and Fight Night series, from my experience anyway. So, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.